Hello everyone and welcome to Mountain Lake Journal. I'm Tom Halleck. This week, just in time for the holidays, we have the story of how a community has come together in the spirit of giving to right a terrible wrong.
Trying to lift it up above that is going to be a deal.
Daniel Way and Rick Garrett quickly realized the magnitude of the task they were facing. The cousins from Glens Falls came here to this old cemetery where their ancestors are buried in July, hoping to repair the damage to their headstones. The Bishop family's graves were among the dozens vandalized in early May in the Boquet Cemetery in New Russia, New York.
People with nothing better to do?
No,
they had nothing better to do than desecrate a graveyard?
Right.
I mean, how sad is that? Especially if they're young people, people who could be doing any number of other things. But instead they come up here and they do this.
Yeah.
It's pretty sad.
They were able to prop up and clean up their great-great-grandmother's stone, but the other slabs of granite, weighing as much as 300 pounds, were simply too heavy to budge.
So we dug out a trench here, thinking we could lift this up and tilt it right into the trench.
But then they told us if we try to lift it from there, we may bust it right in half. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So they made plans to return with some heavy equipment and more manpower to lift the stones back into place.
It wasn't just a few stones, which you kind of figure if somebody wants to knock a few over, but we ended up counting 85 stones had been knocked over or broken. And why? Everybody keeps saying why, why? Nobody can come up with an answer for the why.
The community responded, sized up the damage, and went to work. Some ninth graders from the high school in Elizabethtown pitched in to help.
One of the teachers there brought a group of ninth graders, 15 ninth graders down here on the last day of school. It was their last day, and they came down and spent 3 hours cleaning, and we put up we reset 17 stones.
And donations began pouring in.
The community just really came together. We had set up a fund with the American Legion for donations.
40 individual donors, and we've raised over $5,000.
And that money was used this fall to hire a contractor to do the heavy lifting to repair most of the stones and get them back where they belong. The town has also set aside money in the budget for upkeep.
And I think it shocked a lot of people just at the magnitude of the damage that, was incurred here.
Says a lot about your community.
It's been heartwarming to see the interest. Sometimes it takes an unfortunate incident to bring in very positive results from other people.
So the community really responded.
Yes, this was a case of people banding together and doing something for the good of the town. And yes, it's a real good feeling.
The vandals also stole special markers from the graves of veterans, some dating back to the Revolutionary War, which have now all been replaced. Police are still investigating who's responsible, and many in the community are hopeful the vandals will eventually be caught.
You folks obviously are hopeful they can catch who did this.
Yeah.
Is there a feeling that they should be punished, or is more the question to maybe try to answer the question why?
Well, the first is why, and the second is I'm less concerned about punishment as make them come out here and help lift these stones, clean these stones, reset these stones. I believe in you pay back what damage you do. So I'm hoping if somebody is ever identified, instead of paying a fine or anything like that, just come out here and work with us. There's always plenty of work here. There are stones that were broken and fallen over years ago, and we'd like to reset those. So I'm hoping if they ever find anybody, I'll say get right out here with the rest of us in the community and work with us.
You would tell the judge that would be...
I've already talked to the judge. I called him and said, if it ever happens, would you make them come out and help us repair? And he says, absolutely. So I think that that's the right thing to do.
And the why is still
the why is, and we just speculate it's stupidity, ignorance.
You can learn more about one of Daniel Way's ancestors buried in the New Russia Cemetery. His great-great-grandmother, Lucy Bishop Millington, was a well-known naturalist and botanist in the Adirondacks. You can read her story in this month's Adirondack Life magazine.